Après avoir passé des années à surmonter les épreuves de la vie, Debbie Debosky a presque renoncé à son rêve de devenir enseignante. Aujourd'hui pédagogue à l'île Manitoulin, elle aide de nombreux enfants des Premières Nations à recevoir une éducation. Découvrez l'effet positif qu'elle a eu sur sa communauté. Comment y est-elle parvenue? Visionnez son récit Knowledge Keepers dans YouTube.
I've known Debbie my whole life. She was a friend first and then a colleague as we taught at Lakeview School together. She's easy to work with. She's very professional. She takes the job very seriously because it's such a huge responsibility.
I've known her all of her life. Besides her being a teacher, she's a great volunteer, very involved in the community here.
She's my rock. She's very inspiring, motivating. She taught me the difference between right and wrong, how to make responsible decisions. And growing up, like I said, I would have thought she was very strict, but now I look back and I realize it was all part of good parenting, and she made me who I am today.
We've got 3 daughters, and they're all teachers. After school, in our living room, they'd be playing school. They'd just get home from school and they'd get all the extra spares teacher had, they'd bring them home and they'd be playing, and of course with my stuff too.
Making a film, I never thought that my story would be told in a film version. I always thought, I wrote it, I know it, it's in my heart here.
I mean, our statistics show that our graduation rates are 30% nationally. The why to that question is a very in-depth and more complicated answer. And if I had to give a one-word answer, it would be poverty. And understanding why that poverty is there, that opens the door to the dependent cycle.
We, like any community, have social issues that we're dealing with. We have alcoholism, we have drug dependency issues, we have all forms of violence, but we have those because we have so many underlying issues that we're dealing with.
She knows that the whole notion of First Nations education is to reclaim that responsibility that was once ours and make it ours again. In order to do it properly, we need to infuse language and culture back into the curriculum.
And hopefully as young people learn more and more about what they are all about, what their ancestors were all about, and what the ancestors and elders believed in, they will make a decision that, there's a better life for me out there.
You see something that connects you to your culture, and that alone just gives you a sense of pride, and let that kid have a sense of pride in the classroom. So that kid could open up to the rest of the class and hopefully share their story.
It's critical that our children learn who they are and about themselves, their culture and traditions, and keeping those alive. And it's our culture and traditions that make us stronger.
Vue d'un lac limpide au lever du soleil. Vue d'une forêt couverte de mousse.
Années, Ningi Gosing Nibish, Chiging Donjaba, Chichak Dodem. My English name is Debbie Debosky. I'm from Chiging First Nation, and I'm from the Crane clan. I came from a large family of hard workers, growing up in Chiging First Nation on Manitoulin Island. Being the middle child of 7 children, I learned hard work from a young age. Watching my dad haul logs and Grandpa feeding the cows. Mom cooking supper while Grandma was weeding in the garden. We all helped out. We learned that life was never easy. There was always work that needed to be done to support the family. Growing up, I would come home to see my mom marking books and cooking supper at the same time. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. Right after school, I would turn myself into the teacher, and I would coax my little sisters into being the students. That's where my dream began. I wanted to be a teacher, just like my mom. But a few years after high school, I found myself working as a single mother. Raising a child and moving from job to job with no post-secondary education was an experience of discovering what I did not want to do. One day I received a rock from one of my relatives who was also a teacher. And she told me, if you ever need direction, hold this rock in your left hand and ask the Creator for guidance. I thought it was magic. This rock held a special place in my heart. All through school, I was encouraged to live life to the fullest, but the world looks different when you grow up? And I was unsure if I could still be a teacher. I felt pulled away from school because I had to work to support my family as a single parent. Just when I was about to turn away for good from the dream of teaching, my grandmother received her acceptance letter into university at the age of 74. Feeling much pride, I said, if Grandma can do it, so can I. Grandma was already a teacher in a traditional sense. She was a pipe carrier and a knowledge keeper, but she wanted a formal education. I remember walking down the hallway where I was working for one last time, saying goodbye to what could have been. Job after job, not knowing for how long, and living with uncertainty. Now, my inspiration was awakened, and my dream was alive. Those university doors welcomed us both, and I was proud to sit in the same class as Grandma. I showed her off to everyone, telling them she was my grandma, my foundation, my rock. I had such pride in my family, and that gave me the inspiration to finish my schooling. This was also a family expectation that was held in high regard. I felt how right it was to be following in their footsteps, felt a powerful lineage that had been created. 3 generations of university graduates. Under us all, there was the Creator, who we knew who was there to guide us. It was my university education and my grandmother's teachings that helped me discover my culture and traditions. And knowing my roots, I felt connected. I raised my own daughter. My mom's footsteps stretched ahead of me and my daughter's behind. I had reached my dream of becoming a teacher, and now I was bringing those school books home and marking them while supper was cooking. A few years ago, my eldest daughter graduated from university, making her the 4th generation university graduate. We now have 4 generations of teachers in our family. Today, after many years of teaching, my dream extended to an administrative position, and I love it. I knew I was being called to change, and I took the leap, not knowing if I would succeed. After a struggle for change, I learned to believe in myself when others didn't. Believing in myself gained the respect of many as my dreams continue to unfold. Allow your students, allow your children to follow their dreams. Always be there to support and encourage them as they travel along their life's journey.
Générique. Sincères remerciements, famille Corbière, Melvina Corbière, famille de Basky, Debbie de Basky, Deirdre de Basky, Neil de Basky, Joseph Hare, Earl de Basky, le mari de Debbie pour ses encouragements et sa patience. Musique de fond, tambour par Isadora Bebamash et Samantha Corbière, Kinjingwin Teg Educational Institute, Lakeview School. Premières Nations, Shiging, The Ojibwe Cultural Foundation, produit par les productions Pet Shop, présenté par l'Ordre des enseignantes et des enseignants de l'Ontario.